when you're a kid, you're told that you can be whatever you want to be. That if you set your mind to it, you can be a policeman, a teacher, or maybe even a business owner. Constantly being encouraged to try your best, that hard work will eventually pay off. This is not the case for a majority of Latinos living in the U.S. As elementary schoolers, middle schoolers, undocumented immigrants grow up the same as their American peers. They have the same interests, they have the same playgrounds, teachers, even clothing. Thing is, undocumented immigrants grow up with a mask on their face. And the bitter realization of it does not truly hold its impact on them until they are in their high school years, where academics determines everything. You come to the conclusion that you're not as equal as others have taught you before. You come to realize that all this time, while you were working so hard to build out that GPA, aspiring to start a career post-high school, that colleges don't take undocumented students. And if you register as an international but don't have a visa, your hopes and dreams of the future stop right there. And if you get to have a social security number through things like DACA, you're still not a citizen nor a resident, thus cannot even receive federal financial aid such as the FAFSA to aid you in college. Also, the irony. If an undocumented student who grew up in the U.S. registers as an international student, they pay more tuition than others, and again, they are the ones receiving no financial aid. These characteristics make it near impossible for Latinos to advance out of that poor financial cycle. And while your high school peers are all prepping up to leave for college, others for the military, you're left behind. The mask represents an obligated shield, the inability to show who you really are in society. Undocumented immigrants hide behind the mask because they have no other choice. They are forced to live behind a shield of embarrassment that does not allow them to blossom who they really are, what they have done, or what they are capable of doing. How has being undocumented affected you?
How has it affected me? Not being able to drive whenever you want and having to depend on a ride all the time. And when you do decide to drive, you're always at a constant fear of being pulled over. How has it affected me, you ask? Being 16 and not being able to have a job and always having to depend on your parents for money?
Yeah, there's a lot of frustration. The mask obviously is fictional, but these are actual aspiring people with factual testimonies. What would you tell lawmakers?
I would tell lawmakers to give undocumented immigrants at least a chance for residency, so that we don't have to live in the shadows, so that we don't have to hide behind a mask in society, but be accepted as part of society and together move forward.
My goal with this project was to give a face to immigration, concerning everyday testimonies of young people that want to achieve specific dreams but cannot. But I cannot do that because immigration doesn't have a face. It has a mask. And until things change in Washington for the better of these dreamers, they will continue to all be living behind the mask.